Beach crown?
Yeah,
Yep.
beach crown.
How about bird dog?
Last week it was the first I've heard of that.
That's tasty.
That's what everyone says, they rave about it. Sunshine's got a
I
bunch.
said I can't have one before the council meeting, but after that I'm gonna have one.
I like the apple.
Beach crown.
What
do you
The
mix it
squirt.
with, Coke or?
I don't know, I usually do like Squirt or 7-Up or something like that.
Or you get the salted and the apple.
It's actually smooth enough you could drink
Salted
it
caramel.
with just ice.
And the apple.
It is really smooth.
It's really dangerous.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Now that we're on camera, just wanted to get that out there.
What?
I'll be right here.
That's really smooth. You can drink it really nice.
Mayor's on the way.
So we can get through the preliminaries without it.
We can.
Might as well, right?
I mean,
I think so. I'd like to drink it home.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
second.
One moment. Mr. Council President, wanted to add two things under personnel. Hire lifeguards and hire umpires. Just an authorization too.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. All right, motion carries. Agenda is approved. Next is resolution, is there a number to that resolution?
Number 610, this is the emergency measures related to COVID-19. This is the second reading of this ordinance that decreases the restriction on the number of patrons that businesses may have in their location at any given time, moves that to 50% of their capacity. Now the burden for hosting that capacity is on the business owner or operator. There's been some confusion around some of that, so we'll be working with a few of them to try and clarify what it might be if they need that. But it's a pretty set in stone number that you either get from fire marshal or the building code.
Usually, like in Sioux Falls, they post a plaque right when
Right.
you walk in that has it.
Yeah. I don't know that we have that in our adopted codes or if we've enforced it.
Do we know if we have them all?
Did you talk to Strasser to see if he knows
What the numbers
any of them
are?
No. That's something, I know our building inspector talked to Sioux Falls about theirs. They set theirs by their building code. My understanding is that if it's not set by the building code, it's set by the fire marshal. So we've been in touch with the fire marshal's office just to confirm that as well.
Good.
The only change in language that you would see in the actual draft ordinance is the the only change you'll see in the draft, the second reading of the ordinance, you'll remember we struck the language on keeping the parks and fields closed in that first one. That was amended before the first reading, so this reading makes that reading, it's not a substantial change.
Are we looking for a motion to approve it?
Yep.
So motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. We're waiting for a phone? No?
No.
Okay. Motion approved, 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, we are at 2020 summer park and rec programs and a swimming pool.
Yep.
I'm going to have Justin present what you have in front of you.
Hi, the first document just shows a schedule of when the programs will start and the pool opening date. Towards the bottom, the South Dakota Parks and Recreation Association. This was a conference call I was in. They're looking to create a unified plan to deal with parks and programs and the pools around South Dakota. When I get that plan, I'll definitely let you know.
That'd be great.
The second document is a list, spreadsheet created, just showing everything we need to do, everything we have listed.
There will be additions to this spreadsheet over time. I think we've added to it every day since we first met. Today we talked about phone and testing supplies and all the other stuff that we have to get out there yet. It still does seem feasible for us to have everything open June 1st. I think in a normal summer, it would be hard for us to get our hands on some of these materials and products that we need in a hurry, but it seems that nobody else is ordering them. So the only real trouble we've had at this point is finding a freezer for the pool so that we can have freeze pops and those kind of things.
I understand everybody's having a problem finding the freezer.
Yeah.
They just don't exist. They simply don't exist right now. So,
Yeah.
we went to Carl's, I don't know what day I went up there, Thursday, I think. And I asked the salesman after we got a great buy on just a fridge, just a full fridge, no freezer on it. And I asked him how long it would take to get my hands on a freezer. He said Black Friday. So I took that as a no for this summer. If one happens to become available, we'll snatch it up. But I think even given, I don't think we're going to be doing concessions at the pool at this point. We may have water for emergency use and dehydration and stuff like that.
Well, with us closing down, not having concessions potentially for baseball, couldn't you take that little freezer out of the baseball?
The baseball one, we could.
Use it up there for the
Chest
year.
tape.
Yeah, the chest one.
Yeah.
That's easy.
We do have
Compress.
an ice maker, so we can keep ice for cold compress if we need to up there, so.
Okay.
That's just an idea.
Yeah. So there's a lot of logistics that still has to go into this, but I think, we've already made progress on a number of these things. A lot of them are already marked off, but it is doable. Some of the stuff that we're gonna have to confirm with Parks and Rec is, what kinds of equipment is still needed to pull this off. It doesn't sound like much, so Justin will be reaching out to kind of what we consider the leads in those areas to wrap that up.
I've got a question. What's the 300 foot of 2-inch hose for?
For the baseball field, remember last summer when we had the Legion tournament,
Yeah.
we had to get fire hose and run it off that hydrant because that old hose
Oh,
was
that's right.
cracked.
I forgot about that.
So I'm not sure where we're going to find this yet, but we need it. So we were over there when we did our walkthrough. It was one of those things that I remember we probably didn't redo from last year.
Wonder if MCNR pools and spas or something like that, they might have something like that.
300 foot just seems like a lot.
It runs from that.
Spigot, that'd be like out over the fence.
Yes, it would be.
You should look at the surplus place.
That would work too. I think one of the things we were looking at there, when we did it last year, we ran it off of that hydrant. That would be closer to 300 feet to get all the way to first base.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily have to run there either. We can always run it off. If the main spigot isn't working, we have other options on the north
Does the
end.
main spigot not work?
I think it works.
Yeah, it works. It's just something's wrong with the hose or something.
Yeah, the hose was shot. I mean,
Yeah.
there were holes and it was.
But
duct
I just,
taped together.
300 foot, that's
How long was that one? That hose that's shot?
maybe 100 foot.
I was gonna
Think
say
so?
100.
Yeah.
Were you able to reach first base with that? Or?
Yeah, it goes, and that was even longer because before we used to have to water home plate and those. It's right, the spigot's right behind the pitcher's mound.
Pitcher's mound, so
In between the
you
pitcher
can
and
go
second base.
all the way around.
So you
Got it.
Yeah, there's a box there, Steve.
I thought they were running off of the irrigation closet.
No, there's a tie-in right behind the pitcher's mound.
Perfect.
A thing that pumps in
Yep.
and turns.
What a key.
So 100 feet would probably be.
That'd be plenty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was just looking at like 300 feet, so it's like,
It is.
and it's heavy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good catch.
So I think the only thing we need from council tonight is really just formalizing what was discussed at the work session the other night, is to move forward with these. I'm not even gonna call them tentative dates anymore. Let's just confirm these as their dates and just go with it. If there's a couple of things we don't have by the time practices start, I don't think that's necessarily gonna keep us from moving forward.
We'll be
Games can start June 1st.
15th is what we have on here.
Tentative start.
What about for non,
If they're gonna play like
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 he's
we're
talking
like
amateur.
amateurs, Legion, junior Legion?
I think for that stuff, we can do June 1st. That'd be fine.
Do you know, they got a Legion meeting tonight, right, to discuss?
Yeah, it sounded, it was
How's
this
that
afternoon,
meeting?
it sounded like it passed that and it's gotta go up to one more guy.
Yeah, it did pass. Kirchner called me.
It did?
They're gonna sanction, they're just not gonna, it didn't sound like they're gonna do a state tournament. But he said he'll be getting with somebody down here Monday, first part of next week to let
Perfect.
everybody know.
So I think in the meantime, we have, I'm pretty sure we have a facilities agreement from Legion already. So for amateur team, we gotta make sure we get that in soon. And we'll talk about church league and kickball and all that stuff.
So do you need a motion, Nate, or just a recommendation?
We do a motion to, move forward with this plan. I wouldn't break it out into motions for every different sport, just motion to go forward with this plan and put it in action.
I'll make a motion to, move forward with, Lennox 2020 Summer Recreation Program and pool guidelines here as written.
Second.
Second, Sal, Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Mayor, we did add 2 items to the agenda before it was approved.
Personnel.
Under personnel, and that is to hire additional seasonal staff. Justin spoke with the 2 lifeguards that are, we thought temporarily, serving as groundskeepers. They seem to be enjoying their time there, and would prefer to work in that role over lifeguarding.
Both of them?
One of them would take weekends lifeguarding if he could get, so, you would certainly run into overtime at that point, but I think we are gonna need some help with lifeguarding anyway. On top of lifeguards, and I don't know what we've done in the past for umpires, but we do pay them, so we really should have a motion from the council authorizing.
And it's usually through,
Vouchers.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not through payroll.
Right.
Authorizing what?
Hiring umpires for the summer programs.
Not individual, just the group, right?
Right,
Okay.
right. This just authorizes us to advertise. We'll put another ad out for lifeguards, we'll reactivate our ad on Cal Employment, and try and draw some from around the area as well.
We hired the 2 lifeguards that are in the parks now, kind of with the understanding if we needed them.
They can still serve as lifeguards, yes.
Right. So I mean,
If worse comes to worse.
They're still there for.
I guess that's my point, it's a heck of a lot harder to find
The guy to mow.
lifeguard. Right, so we may just have to have a conversation with them, or
Yeah.
one of them, whatever, and say, we need
We
you
do,
full time.
we do have, 1 or 2 additional applicants for groundskeepers. Both of them I think are solid, and would do great work, so, we did take those, we'll probably interview them, but we haven't done it, we've told both of them that we don't have any openings right now,
At this point.
so.
Would they maybe help out, I know we talked about the pool plan at the work session, could they maybe be guys that walk around and keep social distancing, maybe work the front counter or something like that? too?
To man the deck and not the chairs.
Right.
Or to spray down
Some
bathrooms or restrooms.
disinfecting.
Do something, because
Absolutely.
instead of lifeguards, I
Yep.
mean, because there's,
Yeah.
take certifications.
Yeah. Why don't we make that a
Yeah.
consideration for this? So what I would suggest to the council is not break this down to specific positions, but just say seasonal staff as needed.
As needed,
Yeah.
and we can.
We'll create a new job description and everything for
And
that
that's,
role we have.
and that's including umpires in this motion?
Correct.
Okay.
And if we talk, I'm sorry, and this might be getting into the weeds, and I don't mean to do that, but when the pool opens up, I mean, obviously, we're not gonna necessarily go to capacity, and maybe we decide on a number. Regardless of the number, is the number, I'm assuming, gonna play a factor in how many lifeguards we need there? During the day, whether there's 60 or whether there's 100 or whether there's 250, I'm assuming
Yes.
more kids,
I think it does.
okay.
Our capacity is what, 260?
250, I think.
250?
Yeah.
So cut that down by half. Like, there's no hard and fast number
Right,
that we're given for, if you have this many kids, you need this many
Right.
lifeguards. I think we're always going to need at least 2 people in those chairs regardless.
Absolutely.
And, maybe as we go along, some experience will teach us this, but how much enforcement is the social distancing going to take?
Right.
That's the big question mark for us. You know, are people going to be generally good about this or
Right.
not?
Right, and then I think we gotta hammer home a couple things. Number one, if you're not gonna do that, we're gonna kick you out. And number two, parents who have little kids, just, can you help us police
Right.
that? So,
Agreed.
Motion to approve hiring additional staff, seasonal staff
second.
for summer help.
Okay, any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Both same sign? Motion carries 5-0. Now we're looking at going into exec for personnel?
I don't think so.
Okay, that was something that I was thinking about, but I'm not gonna call it then.
Okay.
All right. If we're good, let's do a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Sam, Billy, all in favor?
Aye.
Both same sign, we're done, thank you. Sorry about the wait for me. Back in the cookie jar, I don't know.
What's that?